That was lousy count in. Lousy count in.
What's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's a dark day.
What's going on, Addis?
No, it's not a dark day. It's a good day.
It's not what? It's a dark day? Did you say it's a dark day?
It's a dark day.
What in the world is up with you? It is a great Friday.
Hey, Chris, disappointing you again? Yes. Right out the gate, Anna. I'm a little, having a little allergy attack today, folks. So if I mute myself,
Yeah.
let it be known.
His nose is running. He's sneezing. He's blowing his nose. Sorry. Happy Friday, all sarcastic. Welcome. Hi.
What are you working on, Jason? You're working on Blood Angels, number one. Now, what do you get? You're looking at all this trim, aren't you? Hey, yo. Sorry.
Yes, there is quite a bit of gold.
I love gold.
And I
only get to say that once.
I committed yesterday to just let's just get this guy put to bed so that we can see how the Praetorian Guard will look at the end of the day.
He's looking mighty fine.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I got a little sloppy at the end because I'm kind of tired of the
rigmarole,
the amount of trim.
the rigmarole.
The amount of trim is excruciating, Christopher.
It's pretty cool, man.
It's
a lot.
Excruciating.
But so, how are you gonna power through, Jason?
I'm going to lean on my friends.
Lean on me.
You exactly are the one that I'm going to lean on.
But how do you power through?
I am literally going to lean on my friends. I'm going to let you and your amazing ability to drive positivity into everything you do lead me where I need to be.
Positivity.
No pressure, Chris.
But Jason, how do you power through this point of painting an army? That's a real question.
I feel like, Chad, I feel like he's asking a real question now.
I am.
I think that, honestly, it really is now at the point where it's just pick up the brush and go. It's that force yourself to do the thing. I also have got other armies. So today is one of those days where I'm like, what else could I be painting? But I haven't done a whole lot. So the reality is I gotta knuckle down and get some stuff done here. I can't slow the train. That's not the idea here. So we will continue to power through, my friends.
What motivates you to power through?
I think that the motivation is always to see it done.
Yeah. This is going to look pretty cool when it's done.
Yeah. I am very excited to see this army in particular.
Yeah.
When I have, all 70 freaking dudes where I can see them all at the same time. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So the vision has not changed. The excitement for the vision has not changed.
Now you could pivot to finish that Iron Warrior.
Yeah.
Or one of them.
Do a squad there. With the Iron Warriors, it's something where literally I'm going to sit down like on a weekend and I'm just going to do all of it.
Jason, the people want to see it done.
That's not my problem.
It is your problem. It's exactly your problem.
That's not my problem.
That's the definition of your problem. Speaking of definitions.
Have you been talking to my therapist?
Paul, hi guys. Just a quick question and update. Audible has the 4 or 5 Horus Heresy audiobooks for $6. What are your top 3 or 5 non-heresy audiobooks?
Non-heresy?
Non-heresy?
Or I thought you said it was the heresy books that were on sale.
Yeah.
Is Chris reading it wrong?
Nope, it's right here. First 4 or 5 heresy books. What are you looking for, Paul? You want I'm assuming you mean you want some more recommendation?
I'm surprised they have that kind of a sale on
I was
Games
just going to say
Workshop books. That's something everybody should go pick up if you're at least a little bit interested in the heresy. If they have the first 5 heresy books on for like $6,
I kind of want to do that.
Go get them.
Because
that is a hell of a deal.
So what are those called?
What do you mean? They're called the Horus Heresy. You've heard us talk about this, Chris.
But what is it called, though?
It's called the Horus Heresy.
Oh.
The
Horus Heresy.
You know this. You've heard us talking about it, Chris.
Collection 1, Collection 6. Holy. Oh.
But are they the actual beginning ones, or are they the collected stories versions?
This one says Collection 1 is $22.
And what's in it?
Let's see. Let's see. I'll have to look through it. I don't know how this works. Horus Heresy stuff, though, is on sale. Just everything in general, looks like.
That would be a good time to go get into it.
Looks like there's 3 books per collection.
The first 5 books are well worth reading.
Oh, okay, you are clarifying for Paul, yes. Either more recommendations for Horus Heresy or non-Horus Heresy. Okay, thank you, Paul.
For the Heresy, the first 5 books are quintessential, I think. You've got to read those. They set the whole vibe up and tell a lot of the story that matters. Beyond that, it becomes like, what legions do you like? You could read the legion-specific books. If you like Dark Angels, read the Dark Angel stuff. So on and so forth. That works very well. If you're crazy like me, you read all of them. I've read most of even the anthology ones that really have some rough stories in them. Some of them aren't as easy to read. Storytelling gets kind of rough in gaps. But there's a lot of really, really good stories along the journey of the Horus Heresy. And once you've read the first 5, you need to then read the Buried Dagger, for sure. And then the Siege of Terra books.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of them are on sale, which is cool. I think it's because of Prime Day, so I might actually buy this. I might get into it.
I was going to say, they're good. I would say don't buy the audiobook for fear to tread, because I'm listening to it, and it's very difficult to listen to. The narrator is garbage. It's so unfortunate. I feel like he narrates all the Blood Angels books, which is a bummer, because I'm really excited about reading the Blood Angels books, but I might have to actually read them the traditional way with my eyeballs, because he is a horrible narrator. And I have not had a problem with any of the Horus Heresy novels' narration, but he is bad.
NKH says, Jason, was Magnus wrong?
Oh, boy.
Yes.
No.
I just said yes because I don't know who that is.
Oh, boy, this is the hardest one, because this is the meme, right? Magnus did nothing wrong. He did everything wrong. Was he wrong to try to do something? No. He had all the right intentions. He was an idiot in how he did it. It's the same thing with all the Primarchs. Their hubris worked against them in every single case. And the more prideful they were, the more filled with, what's the right word? Oh gosh, what are they? I'm losing my words here as I'm focused on painting. But ambitious. The more ambitious they were all prideful, and so the more ambitious of them failed and fell to chaos. The only one that I would leave out of that would be Mortarion. I feel like Mortarion got the short end of the stick in the whole thing. We've talked about it. Mortarion doesn't like chaos. He has fallen to chaos because of a bad decision or a bad bet, right? He placed a deal with the devil, basically, to save his legion, because his legion was so important to him. His sons were so important to him. And he wound up cutting a deal that was a false deal, right? Nurgle basically did the deal of the devil. He lied to him, flat out lied. Well, didn't lie. You can't even say that Nurgle lied. Nurgle just said, I will make sure that none of your children die if you side with me. So he did. And of course, none of the Death Guard died. They just live in undeath. So he ruined that whole thing.
Mikey One Punch has a great question.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using... Muted. Mikey has a good question. I've been using Citadel paint and have decided to move over to your Pro Acryl range.
Awesome.
How is the best way to learn how to use your paints as a fresh start? The best way to learn about our paints.
Well, there's two answers there. The best way is to just start using them like you would any paint. And then, get used to the fact that you don't have to thin them as much as you would Citadel paints to do the same types of things, whether that's airbrush or brush or whatever. You typically don't have to thin our paints as much because they come right out of the bottle ready to use. So there's that. And then just tune in here. We use them, obviously, like I'm doing right now, live every day, and are here to answer questions more so than finish Blood Angels. So feel free to ask questions as you're going through and playing around with colors and painting and trying techniques and things that you're used to. Our paints do feel different, but in the best way. So I think just kind of attack them with a sense of wonder. Look for what they're going to do better and different than you're used to. What they do similar to what you're used to that you feel very confident in. Because everybody has things they like doing, whether it's, dry brushing or airbrushing or whatever. And just try them with the things you love to do. Try them with the things you've had problems doing in the past. Experiment. Play.
What do you think the biggest difference Mikey One Punch will see?
The biggest difference, like I mentioned, with our paints versus other paints is that, our paints come ready to use. They don't force you to have to spend a lot of time on the palette. You just use them. And you put some out of the bottle onto the palette, and then you start painting your models. And we make it super easy to do that. So that's the biggest thing. Other paints are typically thicker, inconsistent paint to paint, meaning that you might have to treat one color different than other colors in a line. And so I think the biggest thing you'll notice is how similar all of our paints react as paints. So they're gonna, if you do one thing with one color, you'll do the same thing with every color to get it to work for you.
Soul by Design says, I absolutely love the Pro Acryl paints, but I recently moved to Copenhagen from Toronto, Canada, and find it tough to get a hold of them here. Any tips?
You're in the land of the enemy. But we do have, I believe we have a dealer in Copenhagen. It would really need Phil to be here to tell us.
You can also check out our dealer locator too, right here. There you go.
And we have an EU site.
Yep.
MonumentHobbies.eu, where you can buy directly from us. We have a team of employees over in the EU that will ship stuff from our warehouse in France directly to you. So never a problem.
Yeah, that store locator right there will take you to a link where you can type in where you're at, and it'll show you where the stores are, and then that is a direct link to our EU site. Favorite Astaris and Trader Legion?
I don't have a favorite Trader Legion because I don't do the traders. I'm a loyalist through and through.
Wouldn't a trader say that though?
Probably. No, I really don't. I don't. It's tough for me, right? Because I'm always like, oh, this is escapism, and it's not supposed to be reality. But there's a very poignant story in the heresy of the, turning of brother on brother, and I just have such a visceral, emotional reaction to the whole thing. It's where I'm at. I'm rereading the whole series again. I've read it 3 times. Or this is time 3. I don't know. I have a very visceral reaction to the turning of brother on brother. And so I am not into the heretics at all. That being said, I'll be painting up a Loyalist Iron Warriors army, and I do, for the gameplay and narrative style, like to at least have an army that can be whichever thing the person doing the narrative event would need me to be. So if they need a Loyalist army, I can have it. If they need a Traitor army, I can have it, just for the gameplay and the keeping the ball moving kind of a deal. So I'm going to be doing Loyalist Iron Warriors. But I do not have a favorite Traitor army. Favorite Loyalist army? Yeah, it's between Dark Angels and Blood Angels, I think. But I'm a big Imperial Fist fan, too. I like the White Scars. A bunch of Legions I could care less about.
Avian has a question here. Slow Fuse, assume you're a speed freak orc.
Uh-huh.
Now assume that you just saw the White Scars whiz by and push your boy's face in. How would an orc interpret the Legion's white, yellow, and red for his buggy?
You mean we've seen them be great and be faster, so now we want to paint to be like them? Is that what I'm reading here?
I think that's exactly it.
I think I would find some really ham-fisted way to make the lightning bolt that the White Scars use so much in an orky way.
Mm-hmm.
In the red lightning bolt. I think that's my biggest thing I would focus on, if that's what you're asking.
Lot of Horus Heresy questions here.
Sure.
NKH says, so would you paint Alpha Legion or not?
That's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. I think that one of the cruelest things GW did was set us up with the Alpha Legion and leave it completely unanswered as to what's going on. The whole John Grammaticus thing, the Alpha Legion, that the deal there at the end in the Siege of Terra novels, the End in the Death, and all the stuff that goes on with Grammaticus and the Alpha Legion guy that went along with him the whole way, is the sleeper agent stuff. There's a really cool story to be told there. I think what I like to believe is that Alfarius, Omegon, and the Alpha Legion realized that they almost couldn't let either side win. I think they hedged their bets a little much, the way that it's written. So it's a very interesting situation. To whether or not I would paint them, probably not. Only, and I can say this is kind of my get out of jail free pass, I don't like the color scheme. I know that's kind of lame, but I don't like the Alpha Legion colors, so I've never been interested in painting them because of that. I have painted some in the past, but I wouldn't do an army of them. I don't play the game enough or care enough about it to worry about like meta. So I don't paint armies based on their gameplay, I guess is what I'm saying. So if Alpha Legion were like the best and had the best things going on in the gameplay arena, it wouldn't make me want to paint them.
Asmilk says, thanks for doing the stream. Wouldn't your soul drinkers count as heretics?
No. Have you read the Soul Drinkers novels? The Soul Drinkers were tainted by chaos because of a failure of the Gellerfield and the Warp, I believe. And then they had to kind of become outliers because the Imperium is so hellbent and destined that if you've been tainted by chaos, you are obviously bad. And they dispose of the evidence, right? And so that led to it. Now there was the one guy with the tainted claw who I think wound up falling to, the blood god, right? It just was too much for him. So they had some problems, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I don't consider them to be traitors. They were trying to find redemption. But again, that's one of the greatest parts of the whole story and that they've set up in 30K, 40K is the ability to kind of find your own, version of truth in it. There is no version of truth other than, people that knew they sent their brothers to die because they didn't think the way they did. And it's perilous to talk about this right now because it feels a lot like real life right now, right? in some cases, and I'm just not a fan of that. So it speaks to me in a different way. I'm like, nope. When I hear Horus and his lame excuses for, when I hear the traitors call the loyalists the traitors, it's like, yeah, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that.
Now, Matt B says, who do you think Cypher is?
Oh,
I think I pronounced that
so
right.
Cypher is a term in the Dark Angels lexicon of military hierarchy. The bearer of the term Cypher is always kind of a I don't want to say an ecclesiarch, but he is always a holder of secrets within the Dark Angels. Always had been, right? Like there's a cipher in the heresy that they talk about. I don't know, because I don't know that they ever clarified in any of the books I read who the cipher was. But it is a title, not a person. So it could be many people, I guess. It's an interesting one, because I don't pay attention to 40K much. And I tried to read the book where the lion comes back, and it's kind of not good.
Okay. You're not into the 40K, though.
Well, it's like they brought a Primarch back and then turned the book over to somebody that was like, I mean, this just wasn't a good book.
Oh, I see.
So it's just kind of weird. It was an odd book.
Wasn't well done.
Wasn't really well done. It was too slow to get out of its own way. There's some neat stuff in it. The redemption of the fallen because of the inability to have the messaging be correct during the heresy, and a lot of the guys didn't know what was going on. Lionel Johnson came back and started bombarding the planet, so they immediately turned against him, but he was misled to come back and bombard the planet, so the messaging was all wrong. So it was a kind of a nobody talked it through, and so him coming back, that part of it, that dynamic is kind of cool. But I don't know enough about Cypher to pick.
Now Stan says, excuse a noob, what is AL color?
AL color? I don't know what AL means. What are you talking about?
Oh. It could be anyone, maybe Chris.
Chris is Cypher. The person that wore the mantle of Cypher in the heresy was one of the ones that turned, I believe. It's been a while since I've read those books. But he was one of the ones that was left on their planet when they got the part of them that the lion was afraid weren't trustworthy got left behind. And he was one of those, I believe. But again, I don't have clarity on any of that.
Alpha Legion? I think that's what you might be talking about,
Oh,
Stan.
Alpha Legion colors.
Alpha
That
Legion
seafoam
colors, yeah.
green, right? That kind of turquoisey green.
Jordan did some
Bluish.
a while back.
Yeah, he did some. I'm just not a fan of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Stan. Just, that's good. Clarifying. Thank you. It was Alpha Legion.
Yeah. I got to know. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the colors. I like the colors as standalones. On the armor, I'm not a fan. I don't know why. It's funny that something like just plain red Blood Angels interests me more, because I generally am more interested in unique color combos. It's like I wish they were like jade or something. But again, I don't care enough to paint Alpha Legion. The fact that Alpha Legion, I think, has, in the 40K narrative, always been painted up as just, Chaos Marines, right? They have this weird dichotomy going on with Alpha Legion that, we are Alfarius and all that, but in 40K, they've always just been Chaos Marines with the same horns and nonsense that Chaos Marines have had. Hell Brutes and warp stuff and all that. And I don't know that that's the story they're telling now, so it's weird. It's hard for me, having been involved in this for so long, to kind of back away from the fact that Alpha Legion were always just Chaos Marines. Now you're telling me that maybe they're not Chaos Marines. I know that they're not strong enough to have gone through and become chosen by Chaos and be fooling Chaos, because they're just Marines. There's nothing special about Alfarius. There's nothing special about Omegon. Omegon, one of them's dead, for sure. I think both of them are dead for sure. So... that's a tough one.
D-Fresh says, so are the DA's traitor?
Are the Blood Angels traitor? No.
DA.
The Dark... No. The Fallen...
Vippa says, DA traitors were a separate event to the Horus Heresy.
Yeah. It was it was during it, so no, it wasn't separate. It was during. It was caused by the belief that as the taint of heresy rose, and they realized that their planet had been a bastion of chaos, and they had been hiding that forever. That's where the cipher and all that stuff was, right? Is because these guys grew up as like the Knights of the Round Table. They grew up as knights fighting demons in the forest, right? Well, the demons were the chaos taint of their planet. And so the worry was that, oh, we're seeing what is happening. Does this group represent that? I'm very afraid. So they sequestered a lot of them away. And that wound up being a problem, right? Because that was, I forget all their names. But that created the Fallen. Because it came back and started bombarding the planet, but everything had been jumbled up. So, all those are good books to read in the heresy novels.
No, these are proxy STL models that Jason had printed.
Yeah, these are a lot of GW bits, sanguinary guard heads, tilt shields, belt stuff. Everything that has like the Blood Angels symbol on it is generally a GW thing. The backpacks are 3D printed. The bodies are Primaris scale. So I wanted to have bigger, chunkier Heresy boys because I don't feel like until Primaris came out that the armor was ever scaled right. Primaris finally had thighs that were of proportion and actually had a belly button area, an abdomen, whereas, Mark I Marines and stuff never had any abdomen or anything. So there's a guy, Fummelfinger, that does the STLs for Primaris scale, or he actually does them. These are done at 95% print. His 100% scale is bigger than Primaris because it scales so well with Imperial Guard and everything else. So he, like me, believes that on the table, Space Marines should feel like Space Marines instead of just the same size as Catechins. It never made sense. No. Primaris I really love. But of course Primaris don't fit the Heresy. So this is all in Mark 2, 3, and 4 armor that I have for my entire army. So, and then random bits of crazy old Baroque, combo style armors and things like that. These almost looks like the Thunder Warrior style armor, right? For my Praetor.
Interesting. You said 95%?
95 is Primaris scale, yeah.
What if they were a little bigger, Jason?
It'd be way too much.
What if it was just a touch bigger?
It'd be way too much.
I think you...
I think it would be calamitous and a bad choice, in bad taste.
Jason.
To do that.
Jason.
But yeah, I've got I have enough bits to do like 5 more Blood Angels armies. I just went haywire and bought anything and everything I could, whether it were takeoff bits from GW stuff, because I have... what are they called? I can't remember all the names of the units. But one of the units has the spears. And, the only place I could get spears is the spears from the Sanguinary Guard. So I had to kit bash a bunch of stuff, cut off arms. I use a bunch of Terminator shields because they don't have enough combat shields for normal-sized bros. So yeah, I've done all sorts of kit bashing to get this done at a really cool scale.
Tommy Frontseat says, have you guys ever gotten into Epic scale?
Oh, 100%. When Forge World was doing all the Epic Armageddon stuff is really where it caught on for me. In the U.S., there was not a lot of opportunity to have gotten into the first, Space Marine Epic scale stuff. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Epic. I always loved it. It felt like combat wanted to be, right? It felt like you read... because you had Titans and lots of tanks and everything going on at the same time. So yeah, I love the idea. The Legions Imperialis stuff, I have this army in Legions Imperialis, believe it or not. I have an entire, I bought, because in Legions Imperialis, I don't know, maybe they finally did Assault Marines, but again, I found a guy that was on Etsy who did STLs for Legion Imperialis scale Mark II armored Assault Marines. So I have a tremendous amount of Assault Marines, the standard Legion Imperialis stuff with all the Leviathans and Dreadnoughts and tanks and all that stuff. But I got a bunch of Assault Marines so that I could do this army. I won't have wing backpacks because they don't do that. But
Alton says, what was the mix for the salmon highlight color again?
It is orange, red, and warm flesh. in the original mix that you may have seen me do, if you've been watching me do this for a long time, the first test model we did, it was Bold Pyro Red, Orange, and Warm Flesh, because we did the test model so long ago that the Orange Red didn't exist. But now that we have Orange Red, it's just Orange Red and Warm Flesh. And it gives you, like I said, a salmon, eclectic salmon. That's that color. And it just turns out to be a fantastic highlight for red.
Yeah. What are your new, what's your opinion on the new Space Marine Mark II Assault Squad?
I think it looks great. I think the backpacks are too big.
Too big?
Yeah. I don't know why they did that. The backpacks when they do Assault Marines in 40K are always just ridiculous big. I never understood that. But yeah, I'm a big, huge fan of Mark II, man. That's my favorite armor of all. So that whole Iron Warriors army that I have is like Mark II and Mark III. Those are my favorite marks of armor. Mark II by far, and then Mark III close second for it.
I've been really into Mark I lately. You know? Mark I's.
Mark I Thunder armor, he says.
Thunder Warriors. Jason had a great idea to scale them up a little, and I think they came out great.
He lies like a rug, this guy. Lies like a rug.
Jason,
I never told him to scale
came
up his
over
stuff.
to me
I told him that
in
you
confidence.
should, I told you what you should do. I said that if you did them at 100% or 105 max for your leaders might be cool. And what did you do?
I
did
did
them
that.
at like 110.
No.
All your dudes are way over.
My
way over
guys are perfect size when you put them next to other Marines. My regular guys are 105. My shield captains are 110. My Tribune is 115.
It's too much.
It's perfect.
It's too big.
They look great.
They look
like a foot taller, a foot to a half a foot or a foot and a half taller than normal Marines, which they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be just about a foot or a foot and a half taller. Perfect scale.
Too big.
It's perfect scale. But it wasn't my idea. Jason's idea.
Yeah.
You'll see them.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. I did those last week. Go check them out. They're
They've
cool.
seen them. They're too big.
What is the difference between warm, neutral, and cool colors, for example, gray? What are the applications for each one? So explain warm, neutral, and cool colors.
Okay, so warm colors are going to have more of a visible hue of, say, yellows, right? Is the easiest one. Yellows leading into reds and things like that. If you look at the CMYK world, where you have cyan, magenta, yellow, yellow is a very warm color. Magenta, warm. Blue, cool. So the layperson way to look at it is that colors that trend towards blue are going to be cooler naturally, and colors that trend towards yellows, reds are going to be warmer. Now, there are cooler yellows, because you can imagine a yellow that doesn't have a lot of orange to it. So like our warm yellow color is a little bit more orangey, so to speak. And that oranginess to it makes it warmer than another yellow that might feel a little, I'm going to say terms like green. It's not that it has green in it, but it doesn't have as much warmth in the orange leaning. And so you could say, somebody might say, hey, I really am looking for a cool yellow here. Well, yellow is not a cool color, but within its range of warmth, you can get cooler versions of it. You can get a cooler red, right? But in overall thought, it's that colors that trend towards the spectrum of blues tend to be called cooler, and reds and yellows tend to be warmer. So now you can think of greens. Greens that are made with more blue tend to appear as a cooler green, and then greens that have more yellow in them, warmer greens. And so you'll hear us talk that way all the time, and that's exactly what we mean. And in neutral terms, white and black are neutral colors, right? And so when painting, if you add, white or black into something, they will desaturate the color into a more neutral tone. Grays that are neutral are simply grays that are made with black and white. And then Warm grays, typically in our world, have a little bit of a yellowish tint to them. Right? And a cool gray would be like one that has a blue. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Chris is dying. Don't die, Chris.
Trying not to. CJ says, working overtime today. Listening to the paint theory going to make me through the day. Woohoo! Nice. Thank you for explaining that, Jason.
Yeah. We
Hopefully
talk
that
about it a
answers your
lot with
question.
regards to shading and highlighting, because your shadows want to typically be cooler colors.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that it's always that way, but typically you want your shadows to be cooler colors. That's just a feel, right? Because when I say warm and cool, a lot of times you think temperature. And that's exactly what it is, right? It's the way you relate the visible color spectrum to temperature. If things are, bright red, orangey yellows, that's just a warmer temperature, and you can equate that to being something warm, like a firelight or something. So, and then, if you walk into a shadow, it cuts the temperature down, gets cooler. So we want shadows to typically trend towards cool, but like if you're painting a blue model where the whole model is a cool temperature, then maybe you want to put a little warmth. Maybe we like to use purple in the shadows. Purple can be either or both cool and warm, right? A reddish purple tends to be more warm, a bluish purple a little bit more cool, but they can still exist as either because they have a lot of blue in them. So that's why I really love using dark purple as my shade color on nearly every model, except models painted in purple. And it's very rare that I use a warm shadow color, like a pure warm shadow, like a red. Just doesn't make as much sense when painting. But it can be used stylistically to create some really fun stuff. So it's just up to you.
Lumberjack says, I'm over 70 hours for this week. I'm sick of OT until I see that paycheck. There you go.
I hear that, man. The same company, Tim? Have you switched at all? At one point in time, I think you were tired of hours and everything.
I love my cat says, I do the shadows of my orc skin in whole red. Works well with the olive green lighten with the pale and sand gradually up.
Yeah, like I said, it can give a really neat feel. So always use it as it gives you what you're looking for. Red shadows, you just have to be careful because they don't read as being shadows all the time. They read as being some sort of light or something like that, because it's not something the human eye is used to seeing.
Interesting.
And remember that every time you're painting a model, you're having to fight against what the human eye believes is going on based on its own experience in real life, even when painting fantasy stuff. So you've always got to be careful with a red shadow. That's not something you and I will see in our course of our daily life very often, if ever. So if you paint it, it becomes a storytelling device and can look really neat.
Yeah.
But can also make people go, what's going on there?
Lumberjack says, yeah, man, I've been here for 9 years. Honestly, Fuse, I'm sick of driving, but I won't make this money doing anything else.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Well, good on you, man. 9 years is a heck of a commitment. I can appreciate that.
It's the whole white and gold / blue and black thing. Lightning makes the color. Lighting makes the color.
Yes. The absence of light is the absence of color.
Lumberjack says, I do like the company. I just feel like a number. I don't just feel like a number in a seat here. That's pretty good.
That works. Then it's just a fight with liking what you do, right?
Yep. Pixel Savage says that particular chest plate makes them look a little beer-bellied.
What does?
That chest plate.
Beer belly? They have it is very much more
Chonky?
like chonky at the pec level, but I like that. It
They're
doesn't have any
chonky
flare.
boys.
It doesn't have any flare at the belly area of it. I guess maybe because it stands proud just because of the thickness of the armor. Again, if you look back at like all of the artwork for Space Marines, they were always super chonky boys. And so I grew up, well, I say grew up, when I fell in love with Space Marines, the artwork just never was represented right on the table. Never. Not Terminators, not anything. They're getting better. Primaris is a step in the right direction for sure. A little too tactical sometimes on the Primaris. Pouches and stuff like that, but I can forgive them that just because the models are really cool.
NKH says, Firstborn has a special place in my heart, almost like Primaris are when a company goes mainstream and loses its character.
Yeah, it's a fight, right? Because I'm like, everything I know is Firstborn. It's what got me into Space Marines was those models. But they just, when you put them on the table, it's like when you're painting them and they're on their own, it's great. And then you set them next to Imperial Guard, and you're like, why are my guys just the same size as your guys? When you look at the artwork, it's like it shouldn't be this way. So I always have fought with that. I'm a very visual guy. As a graphic artist, it would not have flown to me, as it didn't, to have it be that. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't jive. And I get it. Their ability to mold plastic over the years has only gotten better to the point where they now can do stuff like Primaris and have it be right.
Firstborn.
But I guarantee you that had Primaris, had they sculpted them correctly, and by correctly I mean anatomically correctly, when they came out with Firstborn, you would love them more, as opposed to the squatty, dudes. It just the dimensions were always wrong, or they should have not turned out such amazing art of what they should really look like, right?
Yeah.
Because the artwork for Space Marines has always been outside of like the kitschy kind of Rogue Trader days. The artwork has always been phenomenal. The models have just never done it. Doesn't mean you can't love them. The Mark I Space Marines or the Firstborn Space Marines will always hold a place in my heart because it's what got me interested in it. But the whole like, hey, where is their stomach?
It's right here.
They don't have one.
Speaking of Firstborn,
Welcome, everybody.
we're so glad you're here. Welcome in, everybody.
Chris is quiet today because he's not feeling well.
I am here and present. I'm with you. I hear you. Mark 7 for life, says NKH. Mark 7?
That's the
many
standard
marks.
Space Marine armor.
So many marks.
Mark 7 is the Firstborn Space Marine armor.
If you're just now tuning in, we're doing some Blood Angels today. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Jason's on an epic journey.
It is a pretty epic journey.
I would
Not
say
gonna lie.
that these are epic. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Chris's present's, in fact, a present. Hey, Papa Chicken. Thank you.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, master.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken?
Old.
Old?
Old. I don't know what this one is.
You just got to think about it. That is not what it sounds like. And you do know what that one is. You use that one all the time.
There you go.
It always ends with a duck. That is not a chicken.
Whoa!
It's not a chicken. No. Wrong.
There it is for you.
I'm going to call it out and say that's wrong.
Call me out. Call me out.
I'm going to need you to go and
Gonna have to
sample
call
a
me
popping
out.
chicken.
Ozzy says, hello, what colors are you using right now?
I'm
this
using bright
non-metallic
pale
gold.
yellow right now.
Okay. And what's this non-metallic gold workup?
It is a base of dark yellow green, followed by orange yellow. And then over the orange yellow, I do bright yellow ochre. And then after bright yellow ochre, this bright pale yellow.
John says, welcome in, John. When
NCR.
will the color primers make it to Europe and the UK?
The colored primers, like the
talking
new
about-
ones?
That are are you talking about the airbrush
That's the
ones?
ones we just released.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, the ones we just released, I think we have orders in the system for a lot of the distributors over there. So just as soon as they get them, there will be a shipment headed to Europe to our office here pretty soon as well, if it hadn't already left. So very, very soon.
Pushing Pilot says, I started a Space Marine army and I refuse to get any old models.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. If I were just starting today, it would be Primaris and nothing else. They just look too cool. I think it's a bad business move on GW's move to do that. I think they should have just said, hey, we're doing Space Marines 2.0, right? As opposed to having them both exist. I get that you don't want to eliminate the people that have Firstborn Marines from being able to play the game, but there was no reason to have to do that. They can still use their Marines and have the same stats. Just because the model's different doesn't mean anything. But I think that they should have just released them. And I think that's where they're moving towards. From everything I'm hearing, it sounds like Primaris is not going to be a thing much longer. I hope that's the case, but I don't know. They may just double down and die on that hill. It's their IP to do it as they please. I would not have done that. Don't put me on the board.
B-Rap says, I hate Primaris. I have so many of the old ones.
There's no reason to hate Primaris because you have old ones. The old ones are cool too. I think that hating Primaris comes from the fact that they made them different stat lines. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just release cool new models? You've been updating models for decades. Why would you update Space Marine models and be like, oh, and these have 2 wounds? And your old ones that you spent all this time and money and love suck now. Although you still had Devastator squads, which Primaris never got, and I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I think that was a bad business decision, but like I said, I'm not on the board. They didn't consult me.
Melee Game says, hey, quick question. Is there any green in the blue, black, and the dark gray blue? Is there any green?
Nope. Nope.
Pixel Savage says, nah, my hating Primaris is really the design language of them. I don't like that there are so many goofy models amongst them that just do not click with me.
Oh, that's true. And I'm not saying the whole... Yeah, I would have to agree with that. The whole range does not rule. The design cues of them, I think, are very good. I think that compared to Firstborn Marines, they definitely have a better vibe overall. But I'm with you on that. There's some of the models that are just like, what? But like in Firstborns, they made Centurions. Excuse me? The dumbest model in the history of Space Marines. Firstborn Marines riding in an exoskeleton of a bigger Marine because Space Marines armor wasn't good enough, so we put it in a baby carrier?
I like the baby carriers,
It's a horrible model.
I don't like
That's a hot take, Chris. That is a very hot take.
Hot
Chris.
take. Baby carriers?
Yeah, Centurions are dumb. So I think there's been a lot of weird design cues at GW because they needed to have new models. I don't like the idea of Space Marines with cloth all over them, like the Eliminators or the Librarian with a hood and a cape and stuff. Yeah. I think that's kind of dumb. I'm like, it's just either wear armor or wear clothes. Like, what are you doing?
The Grand Deceiver, this is a great question. Is there any reason why would thin paint with acrylic medium instead of water?
Sure, yeah. Water is what you'll see me use most of the time. Right, so when I'm painting, I'm typically just water on my brush, and that's what we got. And the reason I do that is because I've been painting for a long time. Water gets me where I need to be the quickest. It's easy to manipulate, but I'm also very comfortable with the way that I paint and manipulating the viscosity. So water will reduce viscosity in your paint. So your paint comes out at a particular thickness. As soon as you put water, it is less thick. More water to thin for dilute, to dilute for opacity, less thick. So your thin paint, the paint you can see through, right, low opacity, now is also thin in that it runs all over the model. And so I always recommend acrylic mediums like our glazed wash medium, things like that when you want to have more control, because it keeps the paint feeling like paint, but lowers the opacity. Other mediums like our matte varnish and our gloss varnish are obviously for finish. You put matte varnish in a paint to make it more matte, gloss varnish in a paint to make it more shiny. So you do that, and it keeps it feeling like paint. So water's great. Water will thin for opacity and let it be able to make your paints more translucent. But at the same time lowers the viscosity, and lowering the viscosity can make the paint more uncontrollable, especially in the hands of people that are just learning a technique like glazing and things like that. To keep the paint a little thicker can help you learn. I love Primaris being called Space Marines, Space Marines. Yeah, exactly. The more Space Marine of Space Marines. There was just so much to that. It's like we all do it. We all do things that you're like the community can make fun of. But GW just gave us some low-hanging fruit with Primaris. It's like they created this whole character in Belisarius Call that supposedly, we've talked about it a lot, that the MacGuffin of him having been around since the heresy, but he's been sequestered into a corner because nobody liked him, but he's the smartest man to ever have lived in the entirety of ever, and has created all of these suits of armor and his own versions of Marines because he thought he could do it better than the Emperor, and all this nonsense that they just created. And it's like, how do you take your story somewhat seriously to the point where you generate such a great narrative and then just mess it up by throwing this stuff in? It's like they hired somebody. Like, companies will hire like a new VP or a new CEO, and that new VP or CEO comes in, and that company's been doing great for a long time. It's running great, but the old guy retired, hired a new guy. That new guy now doesn't have anything to hang his hat on or her hat on because they haven't been the person that did any of it.
Yeah.
So what do? They do something because they need something to say, I was here. This is because of me. I see the future. And so they made Primaris Marines because somebody in that company had an ego that was bigger than their job. My hot take. Huh. That's what I would say. Because I see it too much. In business, it's just the way it works. Somebody comes in and wants to leave a mark. I know that they were at that time where they wanted to create trademarkable names out of things, but they could have done it with regular Space Marines, you know. The whole Astartes thing was something trademarkable, but Space Marines wasn't. So they renamed everything from Dark Eldar to Jukari and, you know, all the other names that they couldn't trademark, they changed. Imperial Guard became whatever it is. Is there any part or duty of running your business you loathe but eventually came to enjoy doing it? Or do you enjoy it all because it was part of your overall goal? Thanks again, Asbel. Great question. I love these. The low hanging fruit is to say anything that's adulting, I hate. When we started the business, we were called Slow Fuse Gaming. It was in 2016, and we were educating people on painting. We did this same live stream. We've been doing this for nearly 10 years now. And teaching people how to paint, sharing time with people in the hobby, teaching the enjoyment of hobby, all of that was what we set out to do. It was brazen because it didn't have a sustainability model attached to it, right? We didn't know how we were going to make money long term. Jen had a job, right? And the two of us it's just the two of us. We had 2 dogs, her old dogs at that time. So we didn't have a lot of expenses. We lived very meagerly, so it wasn't a lot. We weren't asking a lot of the business, so we didn't really go into it with a big business plan and a 5-year outlook and all that stuff. As things ramped up and we built a community that really loved what we did, and we started then offering products, was more a vision of I hated asking for donations on a stream. It's not who I am. I wanted to offer value for value. I felt like your time is valuable watching us, and we wanted to offer you something in return. And that's a, somewhat a little bit of a mistake on my part because I devalued the teaching. What we do here on the stream, I think, obviously has value, but I wasn't ready to charge for it. I just didn't feel like that was right. I've always felt like art is something you should give away for free so that there's always more artists. And so then we started making product, and then it just kind of hit us that, you have to run a business to do this. And so we got, good by default, I think, right? We had to trial by fire it for a couple of years in the very beginning. And Jen and I just kind of did it by the skin of our teeth. And now it's the spreadsheets and talking with attorneys and all the stuff that goes on to run a business kind of beats on you after a while. But we've become good at it. And we have a really good team, people like Christopher. Christopher he's our marketing director, so he runs all the things marketing, which I loathe. I love the outcome of it. I love shooting the fun commercials. I love being that company in the community, but the manipulation of it and the numbers part of it, I hate. I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
And same with our other company directors, so I every day kind of, thank our lucky stars that we have really good people who are willing to do a lot of the job I don't like to do anymore.
What do you say, for somebody who doesn't really know Monument Hobbies, right? Obviously that's a good background, but I guess why choose us? Why choose Monument Hobbies in general? Because there's a bunch of hobby companies out there, but why choose us?
That's a tough one, right? Because I'm only ever speaking with my own voice. I think you choose us because we're just you on the other side of the paint filling machine. I'm a hobbyist for over 45 years. I love this hobby. The only reason we make products is because I wanted better products to paint models with, so I made the products that I love to paint with. And I'm lazy, so I don't like to have to fight my paints and my tools. If I go out and want to cut wood, I don't want to have to mess with the table saw for 30 minutes to get it to cut a sheet of wood. I want to plug it in, turn it on, cut a sheet of wood. So I made the turn it on, plug it in, cut a sheet of wood paints that work for everybody from newbies to the most experienced seasoned painters in the world. We've had our paints win Slayer swords. We've seen our paints inspire people to pick up a brush for the first time. That's what I set out to do with product. And so I think that comes across. So why would you buy our stuff? Because it works well for you. If it does. If it doesn't, then don't buy stuff from us. Buy stuff that makes your paint look great. If it's another company's paint that makes you feel comfortable painting and having fun painting, then do whatever it takes. I mean that 100%. But I think you come to us because we're you. That's my good answer, right? Is that we're just nerds like you. We paint, we play games. Tonight we're going to sit around in the Discord after stream and tell fart jokes and paint. So we hobby on the evenings and stuff, and sometimes as a group, sometimes as individuals. But we just are exactly what we represent. I don't think there's anybody else out there that really does that. Thomas, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining in, man. It means the world that you guys choose to spend your time hanging out with us. We're in that statement is also that we're just dumb nerds. So fart jokes. No, that's where I draw the line. I say we tell fart jokes and then we never do. I hit the fart button every now and then. There you go. Killjoy, what are some of the future products? Oh, boy, you're asking a lot. We've shown off, as of yesterday, we showed off the new texture trainers, the framables. So we've got some new models coming out that are really fun. We've got, a bunch of stuff like that. There will be more colors. The main line will go up to 192 colors, so we still have some stuff to fill in there, of course. There's all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff.
Mondo, thank you so much for that sub.
T-Schmidt says, I picked Monument for the quality of the paint and the stream. Thank you, man. Taylor, you've been a driving force in the stream for years, so thank you.
I would say you're a great guy, Taylor, but you did give him the power. Like right in front of me, you recorded that across the way.
Chris, you're fired.
I see what you did there.
T-Spit's good people.
He is good people.
He sees the truth. It means a lot that y'all are willing to spend the time with us and teach. Oh man, Stout. It's funny because I say it all the time. This is very uplifting for me, right? You know, it goes in tandem with that conversation about what are the things that I don't like about running the business, and it's all the business that happens before the stream, and the stream lets me do the thing I love, so it balances my day out, so that at the end of the day, I'm not ready to like chew heads off, right? It keeps it very level for me, because I know you have to do both, right? You have to keep the passion ignited, because it's a passion project. This whole business, we do it because we love it, and but you also have to do the part you don't like. And so thank you for hanging out with us. I'm definitely willing to come spend time with you because it keeps me sane. Stan says, can I tell you why I choose your products? You give great value for the money. Thank you. Easy to use products. Thank you. Plus, when you learn more about Monument, you know the stuff for sale is stuff you use, so you guys use. Yeah, definitely. You'll probably need them, and the fact that you use them on stream shows their products at work. Yeah, we don't hide behind an edit button or, revisions of process. We do it live. If you see me mess up, it's because I'm an idiot and I mess up, and we run with it. But we show you what the paints do on a piece of glass with a cup of water and a brush. So it's as basic bones as you can get, and that's the whole point, is I want to show you every day the power of Pro Acryl can grow with you through anything you want to do. We dry brush with it, airbrush with it, glaze with it, wash with it, base with it, layer with it, blend with it. Everything you can imagine doing as a painter of miniature sculptures, you can do with our paint, and you never hear me bitch about it. It's always just easy to do. Pixel Savage says, I would buy your products if you could figure out easy-to-use true metallics. I have yet to find one that has all the qualities I need to feel good with it. That's a you thing, right? I love our metallics. Our metallics are great, but if you don't think they feel right, then yeah, they're not going to work for you. Congrats. Thank you, Asmo. You congratulated Chris? Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. I won't stand for that.
Thank you.
Killjoy, you have all the colors, but your addiction is hungry for more. Oh, there'll be more.
Oh, there will be more.
Hands down the tasty not us. Come on now. That's not what we do here.
Pixel Savage. Oh, this wasn't really directed at your metallics. I have not tried yours. Well, you should, Pixel. That's at the end of the day. Actually, funny story. That's what got Gabe into Pro Acryl. Yep. He was like, I just want a good metallic, and Philip gave it to him, and it changed his life, and now he works here. I don't know. Our true metallics get people to do work.
Careful when using our metallics.
Careful now, you might get a job.
All of a sudden, sales in metallics go skyrocketing. Everybody wants to come here. All because of the snack case and the drink cabinet.
And bronze.
What does bronze have to do with it?
Just a touch of bronze.
What does that have to do with anything?
What's that got to do with it? What is even?
What's
it's
bronze got to do with
It's a great metallic color.
It is a great metallic
Pixel.
color. What does that have to do with anything we're talking about?
It's time for you to do and try our metallics. Pixel Savage says, a touch of bronze really transformed those orc vehicles. Thank you, Pixel. You saw me use them in front of you. It's time to pull the plug.
Pull the trigger.
Pull the plug.
Oh, God.
Pull the rug. Pull my triggers off the rug.
Pull my finger.
Pull
what
my
is
finger.
Wrong with this? He's a paid professional, people.
Pull my...
Pull the plug.
Pull something, man.
It's time to pull the plug. Do you realize what you just said?
Dude, pull my plug.
Don't do that either. I apologize, chat.
Tommy says, as someone moving to Phoenix next spring, nice. Do you all have a physical storefront?
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of. Our HQ here, where right now we do all of our fulfillment out of the building that we're broadcasting live to you from, for order fulfillment, both for wholesale, retail, everything. So the team is here, and we have a small walk-in. It's almost like a pop-up shop in the beginning in the fulfillment area. So you can definitely come in. You can pick up orders that you order online and pick them up locally. That is going to be changing. We are moving fulfillment to our second facility, and then this facility, what is HQ, although we're selling this building, hopefully. We accepted an offer on our building here, and we will be getting another area for HQ for all the admin, marketing team, the stream, and all of that. So we'll be moving, if everything goes right, before the end of the year with all of that. And then we haven't figured out how the store works in that scenario, because we need it to be where fulfillment is. But yes, more answer than you wanted. But yes, you have the ability to come hang out, buy some products, take a look at what we got. Although HQ is not as cool as it used to be. You can see the inside of the studio here, which is always cool.
Tommy says, rather, can I come and say hi and see what you've painted? LOL. Absolutely.
Heck yeah. We bring people through the studio and stuff like that. Just got to ask. When you come through the door, don't be afraid to ask. Say, hey, can I see the studio? Sure. The team will walk you back here if we're not around, and they'll come get us if we are. We love meeting people as they come through. We've had people travel in from all over the world to come to Phoenix for various reasons, and we're always very happy to meet people, show them around. It used to be a lot cooler when we were smaller because our production area was in the same building. Production's been gone out of here for a year or so. It's about 3 miles away, so we can't show people. It's always fun to walk people through as paints are being made. I think that has the most impact for coming and visiting us. Unfortunately, that's harder to do now. Yes, would you like to take a field trip?
Personally, says Sugar Rush, I like a touch of magnesium. Best metallic in the range.
I'm with you, Sugar Rush.
Magnesium is the universal beauty of our true metallic metals.
Bronze, dark bronze, rich gold, dark silver steel. I mean, I'm going to name them all, right? You guys have for years tried to ask me what my favorite color is, and I'm like, yes. All of them. They're my babies.
The Pixel Savage says, Nicholas says, Jason, may I suggest not naming Chris for your healthcare proxy if you ever need one?
Oh, no, he does not have power of attorney. Is that what you're asking me?
Me? Oh, I'll pull that plug.
Medical power of attorney? Yes. It's like, oh, no, he was seeming a little ill, so I just unplugged the machine.
Had to charge my phone.
Had to charge my phone. Had to charge my phone.
Had to charge his camera battery. Pixel Savage, not to make this political, but isn't the business climate in the U.S. kind of sketchy right now to plan expansion into a second building? Honest question.
Nah, not at all.
We're doing pretty good.
Not at all.
Excellent.
I mean, I say that, and I don't mean to say that in a we're impervious to the economics of the world. We're definitely not. But we plan very well. We look at every facet of what's going on. Our overhead is not in risk of climbing as we do this. We do the things for efficiency and to keep value. We're constantly looking at how we can avoid raising prices is one way to put it. And believe it or not, getting the other facility, we already have 2 facilities. So making those 2 facilities the right facilities for our culture internally is the big thing right now. We are focused on making sure that, like right now, we have people in production that have never worked alongside any of the fulfillment team. And that's a first ever, because our fulfillment and production teams were always able to help each other out. If there was a big overflow of one versus the other, we could shift people around. We haven't been able to do that for over a year. And so one of the big things we're doing right now is getting all of those teams back together, consolidated in the same building. We got a good building. That's also fully air-conditioned. Some of production right now is not air-conditioned. Believe it or not, it's hard to get big manufacturing warehouses in Phoenix that have air conditioning. Seems stupid to say that, but that's the case. So yeah, trust us. We're always trying to do the right thing. I think we do it more often than not. I think maybe one, I don't know. How much do I want to layer on these wings? Not a whole lot, right?
And Skyhumper has a question. I'm doing a jade workup using Jason's water on the brush blending technique. Should I jump to bright jade from dark jade or go into jade, then bright jade?
Good. That was a lot of word jades all run together. I'm doing a jade using water on the brush blending, Bright jade from dark jade, or going to jade then bright jade. Yeah, definitely put one in between. You still have to be careful because, you know, like I said in that video, if you go with too much contrast, the thin layer will give you a blend, but you're still going to get a very bright blend, and it may bring too much contrast. Sometimes that works. Like for non-metallic metal, you can do that. You'll see me a lot of times when I'm doing non-metallic steel, I just use two colors, right? I use like blue-black and pale yellow. And so you go blue-black and mix a little bit in, and then do the thin versus thick layer. So you could take the jade, bright jade, and then mix a color in the middle, which, believe it or not, will not just give you jade. Jade is its own color. If you look at dark jade, jade, and bright jade, there are 3 different hues. They are not the same hue, just with black in one and white in the other. So if you mix bright jade and dark jade together, you don't get exactly jade. So that could be cool too.
No, Adam, our warehouse the current one has air conditioning. There's certain parts of it that don't have it.
Yeah.
That people do not work in the parts that don't have it. It's Phoenix.
Well, they do actually. We had to go out and buy a bunch of swamp coolers.
Yes.
It was a real problem this summer.
They are air conditioned. We'll make that clear.
Yeah, nobody's working without some form of cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't just throw them in the bakery oven and be like, get to work.
It was a big problem though, because we rented the building because it had AC, and then when we got into the hot months after we'd been there through the entire winter, so half of our lease, we were in that building, and when we got to the hot months, the AC didn't work, and the building owner was like, "All right, sorry." We're like, "What do you mean sorry? Like, you can't be sorry. It has to work." And they didn't fix it, so we had to immediately get a bunch of what we call swamp coolers.
Yeah. Take it easy, Wad. Hello.
Wad.
I would never do that, Mo.
What's that?
Mo says making people slave in a 100-degree warehouse sounds like something Chris would do. False.
Yeah. You've seen the way he treats me.
I would never do that. Thomas says, if you wanted to do pink skin for Tyranids, what would be the way to layer that?
Ooh, boy, I like...
I pretty much bought every pink, purple, magenta. I just don't know what base to do with it.
I like something like burgundy is great.
Ooh.
Something that's in those kind of, cooler reds. So burgundy is great. That way you don't have to stay pink. If you want a lot of contrast, mahogany works great when moving into pinks. Because you want something that doesn't read as so red, right? Because it can just be too much, I think, when you go pink. So burgundy is great, dark burgundy, mahogany, something along those layers. I think I prefer and would use the burgundy or dark burgundy. I have to be careful not to paint these like real feathers. My brain gets lost in I'm painting feathers. And then I give them texture, and I'm like, oh, these aren't real.
Skelly B.
Skelly! What's going on, girl?
Raiden with a party of 37. Welcome in, Raiders. We're doing some Blood Angels today.
Praetorian Guard.
For
For 30K.
Pixel Savage says, what is the most chrome-looking true metallic in your range? I need a very bright metallic to paint high elf armor.
Chrome? Silver. Has a little bit of a bluishness to it, so it works really well for that. And then you can highlight it with our metallic medium, which is basically like a platinum. It's not very opaque, so we don't say that metallic medium is actually a color. But it does have a white metal feel to it. You can add transparent white to either of those, and it will brighten them up. The transparents are great for adding to our metallics if you need to do tint toning and shading of them. So I always recommend that.
Also, Pixel Savage, if you go back to, I don't know what day it is, but let me see if I can find the link. Jordan did a really cool chrome workup on a Mandalorian model.
That was non-metallic, though.
No, that was True Metallic.
Oh, did he use True Metallics?
Yeah, but then he put like a really cool transparent wash over it and stuff.
Yeah,
Came out
a
great.
little more advanced. Depends on what you're looking for, but yeah,
That's
it
true.
looks great.
Skelly B, thank you so much for that raid.
Welcome, Raiders.
Yeah, check this one. Check
Everybody's
that one
having
out.
a good day. Painted Wings.
Skelly B says, sorry to raid and run. Sending my love to the team. Have a great stream. Thank you.
Thanks, Skelly. Take it easy. Hope your stream was great.
Boop, 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 boop. I'm playing around with hue contrast, currently working with a dark magenta shadow color on a yellow-green mech. Do I also need to include the magenta as a mother color on the basing for the whole mini to work?
No.
Taking experience from Blanche, I'm playing with hue contrast.
Yeah, just using the brightness of various colors themselves to bring the contrast in. I would have to see it to kind of help guide you there, because that's something that's going to be 100% subjective on the visual side, since I don't know the value of the colors you are actually using. But currently working with dark magenta shadow color. You don't have to use the magenta on everything unless you're trying to create something that is monochromatic. I know when you use the term mother color that, you know, by taking a, like what I would call a project neutral and applying it to all of your colors, kind of brings the palette together. You'll see quite a few artists that do that. It creates a style of its own. Having magenta in the earth might be a little odd, but you could do it. Just depends on what you're going for. Alien landscape kind of a thing. But yeah, you know, that's a stylistic conversation, and I love it. But it's going to be something that's hyper subjective. There's no right answer, right? It could look great. It has to be what you're wanting to do.
High Elf white robes, slate gray, white, blue. I'm having a hard time with how flat basic the High Elf robes are in a cool white recipe. You're needing a cool white recipe.
I think starting with like blue grays, you know, slate gray, something like that, if you want it in that cool white range. Go with the gray blue, dark gray blue, start mixing in gray blue, and then finally push it to white at your final highlights and let the blue be the base color. You know, we talk all the time in terms of painting white without painting white. We just did it with a Tau Ghost Keel not too long back. And that Tau Ghost Keel paint job did exactly that. It went through all the gray blues in our line, or a lot of them, and then eventually just used transparent white at the end to give it the feel of white armor, but we really didn't use any white. We used a little bit of titanium white as an edge highlight at the very end. And that's the way I say that that's done the best, right? Because it's this guy. Now, this is to give you a more beat up white armor feel. It's not supposed to be flashy white, but you can see in the shadow if you pop in close. You can see in the shadow it just has that cool gray feel in the shadows.
That
and
model
then
came out so good.
Yeah, and then you can just kind of pump it up however bright you want. This is just more of the brighter gray that I used, and then more of the white highlight put on this side, so that you still can build up contrast. Because the hardest thing with white is to maintain contrast without it looking like, you know, just black wash doused over it. And so this kind of coloring can get as bright as you want and look as fresh and clean as you want, but still give you really good, you know, like you can see like the baked in shadow on the thigh from his arm has that bluishness to it. And leave as much or as little of the blue showing as you want as you go through that process.
Adam says, I'm about to start painting skin for my Space Wolves. Any recommendations on how to portray they're in the cold for Caucasians and African skin tones?
A lot of times desaturating into gray hues is good. It is difficult or more difficult to pull off because you have to know where to place those colors. You don't want the skin to get too gray or it looks cadaverous. You know, they'll look dead. You still want to use... The thing with cold that you got to remember is that as something gets really cold, the flush parts get more pink, right? Because you lose the blend of colors from warm hues through the skin because it's cold. And so you just get like the cheeks more pink, the lips more pink, until you get into like frostbite and they turn like blue because they're dead. So you can think of it that way. You could just boost up the magenta that you use to highlight them. You don't want to make it look like they have makeup on, but that works pretty well. You know, using less warmth in your flesh tones helps a lot. So instead of using things like, if you're going to use something like a color like our shadow flesh, right, that is pretty warm, okay, that's a great color. But you might then take a color to cool it off, like you could use a bone, right? You could use I think bone might be the best solution. You could use olive flesh as well, but it brightens it up a whole lot. I think bone keeps it on target. So you could put just a speck of bone in the flesh tones to knock the warmth down a little bit, but still keep the pinkishness of your flesh tones. So you could spend the time to mix like that, right? And get really good results on making sure that the flesh doesn't look like it's out in the sun. Because the way we paint normal flesh, whether it's African flesh, Middle Eastern flesh, whatever, is that we kind of paint with that yellow sun feel, and there's always a warmth to the colors that we use as flesh tones. And that's the thing that you have to be a little careful of. You want to take a little bit of that warmth over. How do you make it feel like it's in an overcast scenario, right? And that's by graying those flesh tones out a little bit, but you don't have to use grays because, like I said, it makes it look like dead flesh. So use something like bone.
Tyler says, thank you all over there at Monument Hobbies for being so consistent with your live streams. This has been my favorite after-work place to hang. I've learned so much.
Awesome. Thank
Tyler,
you for joining us.
That is what we do this for.
Nearly 10 years of doing this. Can you believe that?
That's a long time.
We used to do this nearly 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day?
Back before we made products, yeah.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, this was a full-time gig.
Right.
We streamed and then streamed some more.
What is the Frigid Phoenix says? What is the exact ratio for a speck? Interesting.
Like just a brush tip full. You know?
Yeah, that's all it takes, right, Jason?
Just a brush tip. Well, I mean, it depends on how much paint you're putting it into. If you're putting it into a huge droplet of paint, then you need more. But
so I would say, like, if you were to take one of our true metallics, let's say bronze or something, if you were going to add a speck.
Have you ever felt like you were just led into something, like baited into something, chat?
Nice.
Put an X up in chat if you feel like you've ever been
nice
baited
layup,
into
Frigid
something.
Phoenix. I know what you did there. Nice layup.
If you've ever been baited, chat, I want to see it. I want to have you join in my pain right now, chat.
Mo says, before we had Chris to ruin the fun and stop the stream. Wow. Calling me out, Mo.
Yeah,
what?
That is true.
You can't confirm that, Jason.
What? It was before Chris decided to be the enemy of fun.
Wow. Horrible. Rattlecan Xing up. I see. Bellicor says, I'm planning to paint red hair on a fairly big miniature. The sculpt is not super realistic, but rather anime. Any tips for the workup? Red hair, anime hair.
I mean, the type of hair, I guess, really doesn't matter. It's going to be the paint style. Are you going to do, like, more of a cel-shaded style of painting? Or are you going to treat it as if it's, you know, more realistic than anime? Because the anime part throws me. I don't know that I care. I can still paint the anime feel in regular. But for red hair, I like starting with more orange bases, you know, something like burnt sienna. But mahogany, again, works really well for red hair. And then it depends on how orange, how autumn red you want it to be versus, you know, how Mary Jane Spider-Man red you want it, where it's like a crimson. Either work. I think in the anime world, you can get away with a more crimson feel, whereas in the human world, that's not the case unless it's dye. You don't get crimson hair naturally.
Thank you guys for all those comments. Second one, Tyler said the same way in the East Coast, and you guys come on right after work. Yep, I love that. Always here to watch and mostly hear and learn about mini painting and other shenanigans.
Awesome.
Frigid Phoenix says, I've been painting for only 5 months. In my new hobbies between your streams, YouTube videos, and Pro Acrylic paint, my project quality and skill consistency has increased dramatically. Thank you to the entire team.
Heck yeah.
Good
Thank you.
stuff, you guys.
Again, it's like you guys have to take the time to come here, or it's useless. So thank you for taking the time to come hang out with us.
We hopefully it's a very beautiful mutual relationship.
What we do.
Adam, this is a great question. Where in the Blood Angels workup would you add a touch of bronze, Chris? Oh, that's a great question.
Really not. I just got done saying I appreciated you people.
Sorry, Jason. This question was for me.
No,
let me.
None of the questions are for you.
I could see Adam like pulling up his pipe, and be like, Chris, where in this Blood Angels workup would you add a touch of bronze? I would say probably in every step. Oh. He's quitting.
Driving me to drink.
That's straight vodka, everybody. That's not even water. That's just straight vodka. It's just
about to get weird.
That's how Jason stays. We know stream revives Jason.
Daddy drinks because you cry.
Jason drinks a liter of straight vodka during stream every day. So
every day, which I don't actually drink at all. But that would be really funny. We used to drink, again, going back in the Wayback Machine, we used to on Fridays, Jen and I would make Moscow Mules with various different tinctures of Moscow Mule. And we would drink, I don't know, I think we drank like 2 or 3 apiece during the show. And by the end of the show, we were
just blasted.
We were lit. And we don't do that anymore. We don't drink anymore, so.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys all tuning in. We really do. What is the best way to highlight on something that's undead?
How do you mean?
That's just the question.
I need to know more about color. What are you highlighting? Material? Are you highlighting flesh? Are you highlighting shirts, clothes, metal? What are we painting? I would assume flesh, because that's the only thing that is specific to undead. I like our bright, warm gray is such a great color.
It's black cloth. Okay.
Oh, well then
black.
Take that back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends, right? Cloth that isn't shiny doesn't need a whole lot. So you could be like dark neutral gray. Could be as bright as you get with your highlight on black cloth. And it'll look great. If it's supposed to be shiny, but the guy's undead, like maybe you have a lich or something, and that lich has got a shiny cloak, then you could go up to like bright neutral gray. But remember, the hardest thing about painting black is realizing it doesn't require a bright highlight unless it's shiny metal. That's where most people get it wrong, is they'll highlight black cloth with a bright gray or something, and then it just looks gray. If you watch, maybe Chris can link it, the Black Armor video.
Yeah.
That same style workup works really well for cloth. You just wouldn't highlight it as bright. And I start with like Payne's Gray, something that has a little bit more blue in it. And then I work a black wash over it at the end, so that I keep a little bit of blue in it. That was the one that we did on Antonio El Tigre. The legally distinct Lionel Johnson. And the armor here, in order to do a black armor, I started in Payne's Gray. So we used what is basically a very dark blackish blue. and painted it, and then worked up with white blue so that the armor looked very blue first, and then you do a black wash over the top, and the black wash colors and adds a filter to that blue that brings it back down but gives you that blue hue. And like somebody was mentioning before with mother colors and stuff, I use the dark purple shadow, right? So the dark purple shadow puts a little bit of red into it down below, and then the bluishness up in the highlight. And so that gives you a really cool black armor feel, where you're not really painting with blacks and grays, because blacks and grays on their own can look very dead. They don't have a lot of nuance to them. So same like on this Raven Guard, I used a little bit of transparent blue, thinned way down and mixed with transparent black over the top to give it just a little bit of a shift of blue in the highlights, so that the black becomes a little more interesting than just black, right?
The mo you know.
Hey, we know Mo. Zoinks. Zoinks.
Yes, Jason is frigid. Jason's very familiar with the touch of bronze.
I don't know what you're talking about. Heresy. I already said earlier in this stream I don't like heretics.
I think Jason actually taught me that method, if I'm not mistaken.
Here we go.
So, the story tells.
Buckle up, kids. The lies are flowing.
Jason, I was taking a hike, and up in the northern mountains of New Mexico.
Oh wait, this is the one where I met you with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And Jason was
what was I doing?
You were on a little cart, right? Like you had this cart behind you,
The
and you
mine
had this
cart?
horse, something like that. He had this hood on, and that's where I met Jason.
Did I have my mule with me or not?
It was you had the mule, and he pulled aside, and that's where I met Jason. And he taught me about the touch of bronze. It's magical.
That was Touch of Gold.
And I think that was a touch of bronze, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. Lord of Hunt, you're welcome. And by you're welcome, I mean you're welcome from Jason. Because Jason answered your question. I did not. There you go. The more you know.
You guys and your Touch of Bronze are going to drive me to an early grave.
It's a good color. Everything needs bronze.
You're going to literally have people putting a smidge of bronze, a.k.a. Touch of Bronze,
what's wrong with that? I need
in
15,
everything they do.
15 good
and then
reasons.
calling us going, I did what the guys told me. It looks horrible.
Please. No, it's not about looking horrible. It's about a spiritual awakening. Come on, people. I love that when you look into those lights, because you can see the honeycomb from the light. It looked wild right there. That's funny. Goodbye, Papa Chicken.
Chris?
Yes.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken? I love when you go.
Oh, Chris is a touch of bronze. The name of your new fragrance to sell at Slick Willie's. Yes. Mo, correct. If Slick Willie's goes through, we will have a fragrance section out the door with a touch of bronze. Made from the finest whale you could ever want. Isn't that what they're made out of? What's fragrance? What are perfumes made out of? The thing that the whale spits up or whatever? Right? The digestive poops of sperm whales? Something like that.
Jason, paid attention in
Jason, are you there?
Freaking science class.
Jason, are you there?
No. I stopped paying attention.
I think that's what it is. I think it's like the digested squid beaks of sperm whales or something, right?
Oh, 100% it is. Yeah.
Isn't that what
totally.
it is?
Oh, it's totally that.
Oh my gosh.
150 million%, Chris. You are the smartest man alive.
Will puke. Oh, yes. Thank you. I was close. Not the poop. Other way around.
Opposite orifice.
Danger says, finally opened my nickel Azo. Worked exactly for what I needed. What a wonderful color. Thank you.
It's such a great color. Such a great color. One of my faves.
Chris, you hit a new level jaw drop. It's where the poops. It's the fragrance poop. I get it. Whatever.
I get it. Whatever.
I'm just gonna.
Chris isn't worried about things like reality or truth.
Why not? Why worry?
Very light glaze pass with the bright neutral gray first.
Could you center up a little bit?
No.
My face is blocking your wing.
Well, then move your filthy face.
Dang.
It's that kind of a day now, chat. He's pushed me too far.
I just asked him to center up. That's all a producer wants.
He's pushed me too far,
talent to cooperate.
Did you just say to have talent cooperate?
That's it. That's all the director wants. Hey, can you maybe talk to the talent a little bit? It seems to be a little argumentative today. Could you do that for me?
No.
I don't know. Let me check my union rate card. I don't think it's in my pay grade to do that. M3 Stout says, Jason's getting a little bronze in here.
I quit.
You can't quit, because you're fired.
Dadgummit. This happens every time.
Jason is an aggressive drunk. I'm telling you. Gets worse and worse as that silver cup goes down. He's drinking. Oh, I like that you have to hide your face. Oh, you have a fantastic director voice and subordinate voice too. It's like I've been there before. The bronze talk has pushed Jason over the edge. Yes, it has, Adam. That's the place where we want Jason. Right over the edge. That's where we get the best bits and the best content. Push your talent, people. Push them to the brink.
Don't do that.
Drink yourself to sleep tonight. Don't do that. We don't encourage that. Get help. And by get help, I mean Jason. It's a lot of vodka.
It's water.
Google, YouTube, Facebook, all those places. It's water. Just confirming. Twitch, it's water.
It really is water. I don't drink, although I should, having to do it.
I was just about to say that. It's like, maybe
I should start
do
drinking.
that.
I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Did you see the divorced dads guy? Did you see his new thing about his miniature glue?
No.
I thought it was funny. Oh my gosh. Adam says, how to deal with decals if I didn't want to apply them, for example, with Space Marines. Freehand them.
I don't use decals.
But what if you were going to, Jason? What if someone is
not the guy to tell you about it? I don't use them. I literally don't use them.
What if somebody wanted to use them?
I think I wish them the best.
Jason.
I do wish them the best.
How do we do it? Answer my question, you.
I see.
Don't do it. That's the answer.
That was my answer.
Adam over here is just trying to get these decals on, and Jason's like, you're out of luck, buddy.
Freehand it.
Adam, good luck. I would try to give you some real things, but I don't know how to apply decals.
So the first thing you really want to do is find a solution. I always just use water with just a littlest bit of dish soap, right?
Oh.
So I would make a little cup of water, not a drop of dish soap, just like maybe get my brush and put a little dish soap on it and then put it in the water. You don't want it to be so much that it suds up at all. Let it calm down so it's not sudsy. you can put that on the decal to use it as the way to slip the decal off, and you want a little bit of it on the paint. That's why you don't want a lot of soap, because you don't want to like disturb the paint. But helps break the surface tension a little bit, helps keep the thing to where when you put the decal on the surface, you can move it around and center it up and get it the way you want, and then blot it. I would blot it with a sponge or like a makeup sponge or a Q-tip or something, but you don't want to get... I used to use Q-tips. The problem with Q-tips is that they tend to have the thread come out of them and get on the thing, and that can be a problem. So I would say nowadays you probably have like makeup sponges or things that'll do it, or just let it air dry. But you want to, I usually tap it down, and then you want to do a varnish over the top of it to seal it. I use varnish. There's things like Microsol and Microset and all this stuff, the solvent, and the solvent helps break it down just a little bit so it has a thinner edge. You don't get the decal edge to show, but I found that varnish works the same way. You can use matte varnish on it afterwards. And then I paint over it. I hate the shine, so the matte varnish goes over the top. And then if I can still see the edge, I dab a little matte varnish around the edges, and it usually levels it out. And then I typically will weather over the top of it, paint scratches or something on it.
Hey, Adam, other Adam here.
Use the decal as a stencil and then just paint it. Nowadays, I have decals that are so impressive that it's very hard to freehand that stuff unless you're super, super good at it. But yeah, I don't use them. I don't use decals. Yesterday they called me out because I said that. Geez, are you okay?
I'm having one.
They called me out because I do have the decal sheets for the Starfleet battles, the Star Trek, Klingon, and Enterprise ships. Because there's no way I'm going to be painting, NC 1701 Starship Enterprise on that little disc on those miniatures that are so tiny. But other than that, I freehand everything. Or when I'm doing like Space Marines and I know people make like the arm, the shoulder emblems, I just buy the resin shoulder emblems, right? And then that way you can just have the emblem to paint, which works really well. When glazing like this, I want to make sure that my brush stroke starts up at the top, brings the paint down towards the end. We talk about it all the time. The bulk of pigment stays where you end your brush stroke, not where you start it. So you want to keep the brush motion when you're glazing towards the end of the feather in this case. Chris is dying, folks. You doing all right over there?
I'm back. He's allergic to talent not cooperating. I'm just having an allergy attack today.
Don't give him the benefit of the doubt here. I see you.
Yeah, I'm trying not to sniffle in the mic because I know that's annoying. That's why I keep turning it off.
You've always used decals because you know your hand isn't close to steady enough. Oh yeah, totally. I say that in jest. I know you can't, and that's why I say using some form of. You need that first layer. As a kid, I just used water, right? But water gets to where it doesn't soften the decal up enough and can be its own problem. So that little bit of soap in it tends to work for me. But if you can get your hands on Microsol and Microset, I don't remember who makes them, but the decal setting fluids work really well. I always just put, like I said, just a smidge of brush soap in.
I almost thought he said a smidge of bronze, but that's okay.
I'm gonna kill him.
Don't kill me, Jason. It's a great color. Oh, a snip of bronze. Oh, a snip of bronze.
It's always old Tannenbaum, right? Why?
Oh, a snip of bronze. I don't know.
Why?
It's because it's always Christmas in my world.
That's a sad world.
What? What are you talking about?
If it's always Christmas, you don't even know what's special about Christmas anymore.
Oh.
Because you just get used to it.
Or you never get used to it and it just compiles into beauty.
That's lies.
And then we warmed the cooled heart of Jason, and his heart grew 5 times that day, or 3 times the size that day. We'll get him.
It's called a heart attack.
Alton says, does Jason make all the employees work sick or just Chris? I'm not sick. I'm having an allergy episode.
So I will let you know we do not allow sick days here.
No, we actually pay the company when we are sick.
If you're sick, you pay us back.
Well. Sick today? Looks like I'll be collecting my check.
You pay the
That
company.
was serious Jason coming over to my desk.
You can't...
But please, sir, I've got to go home. I'm sorry, he's painting stuff. He's like, I don't
make
think
me
so,
laugh.
you.
Don't make me laugh. That's
But
hilarious.
I can't breathe through my nose. I don't pay you to breathe. Pay you to work. But, Father, I don't want any land.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
No, I'm not sick. I'm just dying. But aren't we all?
He's having an allergy fit. Freaking guy.
I'm so sorry. The show must go on.
He's faking it. He's fine.
Adam says, I might have to use this workup to paint my sanguinary guards. What are these warm grays?
Give me just a second. We started with brown gray as the base, then gray green over the top of that. Right. And then now we're into bright neutral gray. It just keeps a dirty white, right, is what we're going for. Again, we were just kind of hinting at it, and I didn't really talk about it as we moved into this, is that it's the how to paint white without painting with any white mentality. Is that I'm always looking at what I can do in grays and blues and such to give me the idea of white, but especially when painting something like Space Marines, like, I'm not going to get pristine white on a jump pack, I don't think. So I would prefer to do it like this, where it's all dirty, warm grays until I get to the highlight. And on the highlight, I go back to neutrals, like the bright neutral gray is a great one because it feels very white.
What the curtains? Vippus, you can't be doing that to me. Not the curtains, lad. All this will be yours. What, the curtains? No, not the curtains, lad.
But I just want to sing.
But, Father, I don't want any land. I'd rather sing. You're married, Princess Lookie, so you better get used to the idea.
That's huge tracts of land.
What's wrong with her? Sorry, enough of that.
When I come visit, Jason is going to kill Chris and I. It's okay.
I think I am always on the verge.
You're not welcome anymore.
I'm always on the verge of being destroyed by Jason.
It's very close. And it would be a complete and utter destruction, right? It would be like I would have to have, like, where do they cremate people?
There we go. I like your whole train of thought just went to like death, boom, boom, boom. Where do they cremate people? Like you just had so much just advancement in my death right there that it became really real.
Where do they cremate people?
Oh man.
Oh, if you've ever wanted to work at a company with these types of interactions, please submit your resume to monumenthobbies.com/I will pay to be sick.
Whose father owns the most open tracts of land in Britain. But the fourth one stayed up. That's what you get, lad. Submitting resume. Nice. Frigid Phoenix. I will read your resume.
He's not lying. He tends to read them like out loud to the group.
I'll read everything.
Randomly.
He's
like, listen to this guy.
Look at this guy.
I can do Word and Excel.
Both? No. It's only in
That's
Legend.
how you know somebody's lying.
It's only in Legend.
Blatantly lying on their resume.
I can do Word and Excel.
Lies.
Never one. You cannot do both. Only one.
Lies. I don't know why people continue to lie to us like that.
Adam says, I tried to submit my resume, but it's a dead link. A dead link?
The monumenthobbies.com/ I will pay for my sick days. I'll have to check the domain again.
Yes. It's a dead link. Quadfather says, if you guys need logistics support...
Define logistics.
I'm going to have to make a joke resume to send in. Great. Just like the reviews Agrippa gives me.
We're all about joke resumes. But we have to have the right to post it.
That's right.
Like on the interwebs. Because Chris will use it in our marketing.
That's right.
We attract only greatness at Monument Hobbies. Check this out. From Jonathan H. I heard you make people pay for being sick. And the one thing I've always had in my life that's caused me problems was money. So I feel like I could just never come to work, give all my money to you, and all is right in the world. Thank you, Monument Hobbies, for doing your part.
We do our part. Oh, put your name on it.
Did they say they're not putting their name on it?
Oh, my name won't be on it. No. You must put your name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't be anonymous. There's nothing anonymous at Monument Hobbies. It's one of our bylaws. It's worth saying. You got to say it to everybody.
How do you know I was John H? It'd be like something like Hue Contrast. Ah, yes. Hello, Hue Contrast. Nice to meet you. My name is Leaky Bum.
What?
Leaky Bum. First name Leaky,
L-E-E.
and then last name Bum.
First name Lee.
Can I speak to a Leaky Bum?
It would be Lee K. Bum.
Lee K. Bum? No, I think it's Lee K. Bum.
What I just said.
Lee Key Bum.
K. Lee K. Bum.
IP freely.
Yeah, IP freely, Lee K. Bum.
Oh, I know. I'm opening the floodgate here.
Yep. Welcome
Biggest
to it,
Dickus, please.
Biggest Dickus.
May I please talk to Biggest Dickus? Mr. Dickus? Chat. I'm going to give you a little insight that Jason doesn't know about, but I'm going to give you a tip right now. If you thought my little analog days were over, you are greatly mistaken. I have something on the way that's going to blow your mind.
Oh, no.
That Jason has zero idea about.
Somehow they spend my money without approval all the time. It's really annoying.
Jason,
really annoying.
Jason, this has come from my hard-earned money. All of my noisemakers. Because I could not justify sending a receipt to Jen for a pickle that yodels.
Do the yodel pickle for me, please.
You want the yodel pickle?
Yes.
May I see that yodeling pickle? See that, chat?
Nobody has enough yodeling pickle in their life.
And it just keeps going, man. So, no, it's not in the sex. It's not a digital sound effects board. You guys, have I not made myself clear on the analog approach to life I take?
He literally just has a stack of nonsense over there.
I got a little basket. But the next thing, trust me, none of you are going to expect this. Absolutely none of you.
Is it the Spanish Inquisition?
Close. No, I'm kidding. It is gonna be great. You guys will like it. I'm just saying.
Sounds like my mom when she served me Brussels sprouts.
This one Jason's gonna like. He's gonna want to use it himself. That's how much he's gonna like it.
I never believe this guy.
You do.
I don't.
You do like a lot of my toys up there. But this one's good.
The pickle is the greatest. I do admit that.
So like I said, I ain't submitting any receipts for this kind of stuff. This comes out of this is because I know it's worth it. And I don't want to get a no, so I don't end up submitting it. I just buy it my own free will. This next one, though, I know Jason's really going to like.
Here we go.
Danger says, get Chris the I love that workup. The I love that workup didgeridoo.
That's what we need.
I'm getting a full drum set? No. Frigid says, whatever it is, it will have a touch of bronze on it. You better believe it.
I am done with this.
A brush that paints plaid natural. No, even better. No, it's not an a cappella group to repeat everything Chris says in a song. Amazing. Not that. What? It's going to be a touch of bronze button? Even better. You guys couldn't even guess. I'm going to say that clearly. None of you will be able to guess what it is. At all. You could guess for 1,000, like 1,000 times. You'll never guess. You'll literally never guess. I could have Jason spend an entire day trying to guess and probably wouldn't guess it. But it's coming. So you have to... This is my only one bait to you, chat. You'll have to keep tuning in because it's going to surprise you. That's the thing. That's my one bait for you. How do you think? What do you think about that, Jason?
I kind of like that.
That's kind of cool. I mean, if you like that, You guys won't be able to guess what it is. I'm so sorry. That sounds. Is it a gavel and a powdered wig? No, that's a different thing that I'm going to do. I decided not to get the gavel because it's too loud and annoying in here. Question: did Jason finish his Iron Warriors? I'd love to see the finished squad.
No. I haven't even gone back to them. They're over there, though.
He'll get back to it.
Yeah.
A mariachi band? No.
Good God.
No, it'll be good.
You don't seem to know what we pay him. He can't afford a mariachi band.
It'll be so fun. Jason will love it. Anyway. Question.
Chris's new frontman for Gwar. Can you imagine?
No.
If he just came to work in that suit.
Here's the
It does need to be a gavel and a powdered wig.
I am thinking about that, but I can't be tempted. That's too much power. This next thing is a fine balance.
A touch of bronze is a tanning salon, is what he says.
A touch of bronze.
He Googled it. You're now on an FBI list, by the way.
What does
All right, legends. Have a great day. Frigid Phoenix, I would say it would be great of having had you here, but I'd be lying. Thanks for hanging out, Frigid. Go home and do whatever it takes to forget about the word bronze.
It's a good thing. People like bronze.
I don't know how this started.
I can tell you how it started.
No, I don't know.
It's a good thing.
No. Is it 3:54?
Yeah, dude.
What? Dude, how did time fly so fast?
You were painting up some stuff today. You got a lot of work done.
I finished the gold and I got the wings.
Yeah. He's at a really cool level.
I'm liking the way these guys look.
Yeah. I like the wings. I do like the wings.
Pop in close, because it's nothing that anybody out there can't do. It's just layered paint, and I still need to do... I'll do white on the edge highlights, just a thin edge highlight.
For a second, I thought you were like, it's just paint.
It's just paint, man.
It is just paint.
It's just paint. But I'm not really spending a lot of time blending. I'm just making sure that I'm leaving contrast everywhere. That's the biggest thing, that it survives the 3-foot test and you get contrast on everything. So you can see that nothing is smoothly blended. It's just making sure that I'm using my standard layering of having thin and then, more opaque over thin, even on the gold, guarantees that I maintain some contrast that survives at that kind of 3-foot level. So... It works.
Yes.
Discord painting group is on. Yes. Unless Chris decides to chintz out and go home because he feels bad. No pressure, Chris.
Excuse me.
Jordan, Stan. Do you feel good enough to stay?
I'll probably stay for a little bit.
You can at least get us up and running. I don't want you to
Yes.
stay if you feel bad.
I'll stay for a little bit. I might just have to go and...
No pressure, Chris. I know that nobody planned to spend Friday with you or anything. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. I get that during the week, not taking care of yourself takes precedence over hanging out with us.
I can't.
We lost him. He
I
died.
can't do it.
He-
I will. We're gonna figure out Discord. Jason and I've got to figure out this.
Sugar,
stage
does that
thing.
sound like your mom? Sorry. I didn't mean to bring it home for you there.
We're going to.
I didn't mean to bring it home for you
Here's
there.
what's gonna happen. Jason and I are gonna set up right after stream. Give us like 10, 15 minutes because
Yeah.
we have to set up the stage. Jason, you have to do it in your account. It's just a channel. It's just a new channel.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
super simple.
Oh.
So
I have to create a stage.
yeah, we
Right.
can do it really quick.
Okay.
So everybody,
forgot all
just
about
be
that.
aware.
Okay.
I just didn't get to it.
We're going to
today.
shut down,
We'll
and
figure
then
it
I'm
out.
going to go create the stage. We'll create a new room, and
Yeah.
then you'll see us in there, and then you'll be able to join in. It should allow us to have a lot more people because the standard hang rooms that
It's
we have only allow
25.
25 people, most of whom were not using the video. So in the stage, we'll have to learn how to allow people to use video, but we'll test that out tonight. So it'll be a lot of people, a lot of voice. You can come in and hang out with us. We'll go for a little while. Jordan's going to be here. We're going to have the camera over on the game table for Jordan to be set up with microphones, so he'll be able to talk with you. Hopefully Chris can hang out with us for a bit, but he's feeling a little under the weather. So we'll have some fun. Stick around. We'll be back in about 30 minutes. Again, for those of you that have just found us for the first time today, we are Monument Hobbies. We really appreciate you spending some time with us, watching some paint dry. Hope
Yes.
you learned something, picked up some cool inspiration along the way. Maybe you made some new friends in chat. Make sure to follow the links that Chris put up in the chat because we've got the Discord link, which has got over 6,000 amazing artists just like yourselves to hang out with, get inspired by, tell fart jokes, see dogs and what they've had for dinner. It's a lot of fun. So we'd love to see you over at the Discord. Make sure to follow and subscribe here on Twitch and on YouTube. We do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona for Monument HQ. We'd love to see you back. If you're going to stick around, like I said, about 30 minutes from now, we're going to start over in our Discord with our Hobby and Hang. Just some casual, cool chitter chatter. Who knows what we'll get into tonight? I might build some models. I don't know what's going to go on. We'll figure it out. But we're going to have a lot of fun as we go off into a Friday night as a send-off for the weekend. If you don't have time for that, we love you. We'll see you back here on Monday. Stick around. Chris is going to find somebody to raid. So if you'd like to see some more Twitch hobby content, stick around. Show some love in the channel we wind up in. And we'll catch you back here on Monday.
Bye, guys.
Adios, gang.